Everybody's talking at the comic spot. The comic spot. The comic spot. Everybody's talking at the comic spot. The comic spot.
Talk about it, just change the subject.
No, you can do whatever you want. It's okay. Hey, you know those two lady comics that you were mentioning? I was watching them, and they're funny. I have to say, Kathy never wears too much makeup, and Wendy probably has the whitest teeth of any comic I've ever seen.
Are you?
Those are pretty white too. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, Wendy has a great big huge smile, and Kathy Ladman, she doesn't need any makeup. She's just, it's so refreshing to see somebody that's not trying to put on airs, and she's so accomplished to not have to put on airs. I asked her what intro she would like, and she's, just say my name.
Well, the reason I brought it up is one of the clips I was watching, she comes out talking about, hey, you know, I put on this makeup so I can make sure I look a little bit more old and tired. How'd I do? You know, so that was kind of cute.
That is cute. That's adorable. Yeah,
Yep.
they're my heroes. They're strong women in the comedy world, I'll tell you that.
Now, where are you located in Vegas?
I'm right on the Strip, right just a little bit south of Fremont Street, right on the Strip.
Oh, I know that is, you know Henderson, right?
Yep.
Yeah, right on the border of Henderson and Vegas. That's where my son teaches at the Slam Academy.
Now, what is the Slam Academy?
It stands for Sports, Leadership, and Management.
Nice. How much longer does he go there? How many years is that?
Oh, well, he's been teaching for 6 years in Las Vegas.
He's a teacher there?
Oh, yeah, he's a teacher.
Oh.
He's 30. I mean, he's in his 30s, so yeah, he's a teacher. He's kind of got his roots there. He's got a house there, and he's married there, and he's got his 2 dogs, and he likes Vegas.
That's great. How often do you come here?
Not very.
We'll have to have coffee. Does your band ever come here?
No, it would be too far to go to a gig unless it's like a $2,000 gig or something.
Yeah.
Now, one of our guitar players, they have family in Vegas too, so they do travel to Vegas. We'll see if we can't team up sometime and then come drop by and say hi.
Yeah, and I'll come hear your music if you ever play here. Once in a while I get to LA. What part of LA are you in?
We're down in the South Bay by Redondo Beach. You know, we all went to Redondo High School.
I saw that.
Yeah, and so we're from the South Bay area. I live in Lomita. It's like a 2.2 square mile area, which has 2 of the biggest, notorious murders ever in such a small 2-mile city. The guy who cooked his wife, you know, the chef on Narbonne. And
No.
the other one was the Black Widow, where she would marry these sailors and then kill them.
Oh my goodness sakes.
About it, I really shouldn't laugh about it, but these are very high-profile cases. You know.
Yeah. I won't tell Nancy Grace that you're laughing.
I won't. No.
We don't want her to know.
She can be mean.
Yes, oh my gosh, can she turn on a person?
Yeah, I don't want to be on her bad side. So anyway, I'll let you get started and I'll shut up.
Cool. Well, this is Joe Bensoua.
That's it. You got it the first time.
Awesome.
Like, you know?
Are we allowed to ask what nationality that is?
Sure. It's Israeli by way of Greece.
Love it.
Yeah, my parents grew up in Greece, and the relatives, the ones that are surviving, are in Israel.
Ones that are surviving the Holocaust or the pandemic?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, the Holocaust. Yeah, we go back to WWII.
Mine too, my family.
Yeah, there you go.
So where was your family during the Holocaust, Joe?
Well, my mom's husband at the time was rounded up, and sent to Auschwitz with his son and nephew, and they died there. And my mom lived in Thessaloniki, and she wound up being with the partisans, hiding out in the olive groves with her mom.
Wow.
And she had a baby at the time, but it died because they didn't have any food to give it. Those tough times, you know. We think we have it tough because we have to stay indoors for a while. I don't like staying indoors, but they had it a lot rougher.
Yes, I've been getting a lot of personal strength from thinking about Anne Frank. In the darkest times, we didn't have it nearly like one person in the Holocaust.
Right.
Not
Exactly.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad was, he wasn't really put in the camps. He was doing things for the SS. So he had a lot of guilt he had to carry around to survive.
Oh, sure. Yeah. A lot of them wonder why they survived, but it's like if they didn't do the job, somebody else was going to do it.
Yes.
So they didn't have a choice.
That's right.
And I totally get that.
So you went to Redondo Beach High School, Redondo High School?
Redondo Union High.
Union High. And then how did you get into comedy and how did you get into music, Joe?
Well, I started to play drums when I was 17 years old, but then when I graduated, I got into a job at the newspaper almost right away. I was 19 years old, and I'm still the only one on record that it's a part-time janitor and a part-time writer to make a full-time employee.
Wow.
So I did that about a year before I got hired on as a regular writer.
At the Orange County Register?
Oh, no, it was at the Daily Breeze. The Daily Breeze newspaper in Torrance. I was freelancing for the Orange County Register after I retired, you know, from the Daily Breeze. But I was there 43 years, and in all that time, I didn't play drums. I just kind of hung it up for a career and a family. And now that I'm retired, I get a little, you know, I'll have some part-time jobs. I push people in wheelchairs at the cruise ships down in San Pedro for the Norwegian company. And I also am on call as a proofreader for an ad agency in Torrance. And so I just do those little things on the side. But my love is to play drums in a band. So once I retired in 2014, I got in a band. That led to another band. And that led to me forming the Jokers. And in between all that, I was doing some stand-up comedy.
Tell me about your stand-up career.
Well, it goes on the back burner when the band is doing well. And before this coronavirus hit, we were booked almost every Saturday, which was terrific at different places. Now, stand-up, I just felt like, I'm not afraid of people, and I wanted to see how long I can stand in front of an audience and be insulted before I started crying. You know, it was just a challenge of mine.
Yeah.
But I played at some small venues like Cuban Pete down in Long Beach and places like that, a lot of open mics. The library, it's called the Library in Long Beach. And some of that was really fun to do. But then I decided, well, you know, maybe I can get paid doing this.
Right.
So I would start my comedy routine everywhere from a half hour to the longest I've ever done was 2 hours.
Whoa.
2 hours comic is way too long.
Yeah.
So I did one of those. That was at a retirement home in San Diego. They had nowhere else to go. But mainly a couple of assisted living places in San Pedro and Torrance because they actually paid. And,
Yep.
I did some stand-up for the newspaper at one of their expos. They call them senior citizen expos. I personally like senior citizen comedy. I like to do clean comedy. I don't get any pleasure in doing gags and jokes where, you know, you're using swear words all the time. And that leads me to my next thing that I wanted to talk about is the state of comedy with the youngsters. I call them the youngsters.
You're right.
They come up and they have they think they have a ready-made audience. Just being able to swear in front of them all the time, it's like they're getting paid by how often they can use the F word.
Exactly.
I got to tell you, one time in Cuban Pete's, there was 10 comics, and I watched them all, and they were all the same, pretty much swearing. And I didn't laugh during one of them, not one. I like comedians who actually can make people laugh without having to swear all the time.
Right.
There's only one real outstanding comic, I think, who can get away with it, and that's Dave Chappelle, because it's part of his persona, and he doesn't overdo it at all. You know, a few words here and there, but that's just part of who he is. Other people who try it and think that's part of who they are, doesn't really work. You know, be funny. Abbott and Costello didn't have to swear. You know, none of these guys had to swear back in the day. The Three Stooges didn't have to swear. You know, they were all had to keep it clean.
Yep.
Now, if they could keep it clean and be funny, why can't we keep it clean and be funny?
You know,
So,
we can't go from premise to premise with no punchlines either.
Right, exactly. Now, I'm not trying to censor anybody. If they want to go up there and swear up a blue streak, that's up to them. And then it's up to the audience whether they want to laugh or not. But
Yep.
I like comedy where it's on the clean side and we can all have a good laugh and go from there. Just have a good time.
When you go to nursing homes, do you find that callbacks have a totally different purpose?
I don't know too much about callbacks there. I mean, I played the same place more than once or twice. But I'll tell you, the first time I ever...
No, I mean a comedy callback where in the end of your set you're referring to a joke you said earlier, and I'm trying to be funny in the fact that senior home people forget and you have to do a callback.
Yeah. Oh, listen, let me tell you, some of the sharpest people are at these assisted living places. You know, you can't get anything by them. In fact, when I'm done with my routine, some want to come up and tell me jokes.
Yep.
You know, so I can do their jokes next time. But I got to tell you, the first time I ever did this is kind of funny. It was down at the Harbor Terrace in San Pedro. And they would wheel people in and they would have their seats. And we had a pretty full house. There was a lot of people there. And I was supposed to do a half-hour routine. Well, after a half hour, nobody moved. And I says, wow, this is great. Captive audience. You know, they like me. So I went another 5 minutes, and I went another 5 minutes, and nobody was moving. I go, wow, this is terrific. They really like me. So then I did an extra 15 minutes, and then the staff came in with the wheelchairs and took everybody out. Staff showed up to take them out. So that was a real humbling experience.
I love doing comedy. I love doing comedy for nursing homes. I just love it so much. It's a great...
Come and visit them, that they take the time to try to entertain them, you know. So whenever I do something like that, I really enjoy it and have a good time. Plus, assisted living places is one of the few places that will pay you to do comedy.
Yes.
Everything else with mics, or you have to compete, or we'll do a video of you in exchange for you entertaining our audience, or we might give you a free beer.
Right.
So, you know, you got to really like what you're doing to do it. You're not really doing it for the money to start off with. Now, there are comics that do tours, and more power to them. I mean, you know, that takes quite a sacrifice to be able to get up and fly out and do these kinds of things. And I suppose they have managers and all, but I'd rather play in a band and stick around town.
So let's get back to your band. You have a band called the Jokers, and you call yourself a rock drummer. But your band, is it a rock band?
It's a classic rock band. We don't do original songs. We do classic covers. Everything from, let's say, Chubby Checker to, you know, we like to do more of the oldies kind of rock. But we do Creedence Clearwater and the Stones and the Beatles and Van Morrison, the Tom Petty, the Doors, a little Hendrix.
I've been looking for a band just like yours my whole life.
Yep. Here we are. I'll send you a contract.
I will be out there to come, and my sister lives in Orange County, and I go out a couple times a year. So I'll try to coordinate my trip to your band.
Let me know when you do, because we played at the Harp Inn before in Costa Mesa, right there off of Newport Boulevard. So, you know, maybe I can call the owner up and see if he can't get us in.
Yeah, because she's in Laguna.
Oh, that's not too far away.
No. Perfect.
My other son lives in Newport Beach, so this is not too far from there. Now, we were, before this virus thing hit, we were scheduled to play Cook's Corner in Trabuco Canyon, which is right above Costa Mesa. It's a historic biker ball. And boy, we were really looking forward to playing there. You know, sit there and play for a bunch of nice bikers, you know, people partying, you have a ready-made audience. It's not one of those things where you have to bring people or anything like that. Just bring your song list and you start playing.
Oh, have you ever played at that tavern in Malibu right on the road?
No, we haven't ventured that far out.
Yeah, that's pretty far out, all right.
It is, yeah. Gladstone's, I know there was a Gladstone's fish place that was kind of far out there that I went there one time. But yeah, Malibu's kind of out of the area, but we'll go anywhere if somebody pays us to play, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like we need money, but getting paid for a gig is a measure of self-worth. You know, and that's the good thing about it. It helps pay for the gas. It helps pay for some of the time that you're investing in it. You know, if you were to itemize every minute you practice with what you're getting paid for a gig, it might come out to like 25 cents an hour.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we have fun. We like playing dive bars and nice places too. We played Hay 19 in Torrance, and our last game was the Blackthorn Pub in Lomita. We love that place.
Wow.
So, Ale House in Lomita too. It's good.
So, to what degree has your music and comedy life taken a toll on family? Because it's such a commitment to be in music and comedy.
None at all, because I'm retired. You know, my little side jobs, I can do those when they need me. But you know, I'll say, hey, I'm heading out. Like, hey, have fun. Don't forget to turn the light off. You know, that's it. You know, my sons are gone, moved out. They have their own families. So I just pretty much, it's a one-man show as far as the band is concerned. You know, with me showing up, playing with the guys, rehearsing. You know, I have an electronic drum set I use at home to rehearse, so it doesn't bother the neighbors. I just put the headphones on.
It's a wonderful.
Yeah, so it doesn't take a toll on family life at all. It takes a toll when we're not playing. That's when it takes a toll.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, I want to play.
Every artist that's not essential. I mean, I don't understand why music and comedy isn't essential, but I get it, I guess. We're all feeling it.
It's essential to me. Is like going to have a beer down at the neighborhood bar, you know. I remember when my doctor says, oh yeah, you need to exercise more, you know, get out and walk. Well, then I started walking to the 3 local bars, you know, the Lomita Ale House, the Blackthorn Pub, and Burning Daylight Brewery, you know, all within like a mile distance. So I would get my exercise, and of course I, you know, couldn't drink too much because I still had to walk home.
So in your band, who tells the jokes?
Well, it's not, you know, if anybody finds an opportunity for a one-liner, you know, while they're setting up for a song or something, you know, have at it. You know, usually it's me. You know, I'll say something like, my neighbor's a favorite target. You know, I'll say, hey, you know, I've been trying to get to know my neighbor better, but I told her we're not going to have much of a relationship if she keeps calling the police every time she spots me in her bushes. One-liners, or, hey, I went out on a blind date last night, but it didn't start out that way. She brought her pepper spray.
That's great.
Yeah, or, hey, I cooked breakfast for my neighbor the other day. You think she'd say thank you? Instead, she's screaming at me, how did I get into her house?
Yes.
So, you know, but everybody is welcome to throw out a one-liner if they want. We want to get our music done more than tell jokes when the band's playing. So,
yeah.
And hopefully we'll be back out there soon. That's what I'm hoping.
So where can people support you online?
Well, we all I have is a Facebook website. We don't ask for money. You know, we only ask for money from bar owners and people hiring us to play, as opposed to seeking donations. You know, we're doing okay.
Wonderful.
We just want to get out there and play. That's all.
You want to know something incredible? We have something in common. Guess what? I worked for the Orange County Register.
Oh, you did? Okay, yeah.
I was on the phones and outside getting subscriptions.
Wow. Sometime in the past, our paths probably crossed. I didn't work inside the building. I just freelanced it because I worked at the cruise ships. I could do some cruise ship stories for them, like the secrets of checking in. How to make your experience better when you show up at the port. Things of that nature.
That's
I
great.
did quit one of my port jobs though because it was just the ships are getting too big.
Yeah.
Ships are getting too big, and the lines are getting too long.
How do they stay above water?
Yeah, well, I guess it's just the way they build them, the air compressor in there and stuff like that. I've often wondered about that when I was a kid. These things stay afloat, and they're making them bigger every year. Now, we've got several passenger ships that come in that take anywhere between 4,000 and 5,000 passengers, and then you've got 1,500 crew members on top of that.
Jeez.
So, floating cities, yeah.
Why don't they just go to Alaska and wait for an iceberg to break off and just go around the world in it?
Well, usually the smaller ships will do those round the world cruise. Like, remember the original Love Boat on TV?
Yeah.
Well, that ship is like in a scrapyard in Turkey. But its namesake, there's another Pacific princess that sails around the world, and they usually only take 800 people, 800 to 900 people. It's always smaller crowds. That way, it's people who can really afford it, because these are not cheap trips,
Got it.
A lot of expensive stuff.
So let's say the pandemic is over right now, and you can go. Let's say that you can go anywhere you want right now, and do music anywhere in the world. Where would you go?
Well, I still want to go to the Cook's Corner. I still want to go to that biker bar in Trabuco Canyon.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't need to go to Greece or Israel or Italy or anything like that to go play music. There's places here. There's a lot of competition too, but keep at it, and eventually you get your chance. And like when we played the Blackthorn Pub in Lomita, the owner loved us, and he goes, "Hey, I'm going to have you guys back." So you get your chance. You get in there, you show them what you can do, and there's a lot of classic rock bands out there, but not everybody does it with the panache that we do.
I listened to the Jokers, and I love your music, and I've been looking. There's like something up north in Oregon. There's Johnny Limbo and the Lugnuts, and they draw a great big huge crowd, but I don't think they're up my alley. So I think you guys are.
Well, good. I'm glad. We can always use a fan. So make sure I have your email, and you'll be on our fan list.
I'll shoot it.
Playing somewhere, you'll get an email, and you'll see what's going on.
Okay.
So, yeah, like I said, we like older oldies, but we tailor things too. We like to change things up. Like when we played at A19 in Torrance, we did an evening of Motown. It was a night of Motown.
I love Motown.
Yeah. Who doesn't like Motown?
You got to be crazy.
It was all Motown with a few R&B hits that they were not on the label. But we also do British Invasion of the 60s.
Nice.
And we're also planning on doing a one-hit wonder night.
Ooh, I want to hear that too.
That's where you hear the song and you go, I know that one. But that's probably the only thing you ever know them about.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Everything, My Sharona to the Macarena to who knows what.
Yes.
But, we like to change things up. We can tailor make any kind of a gig. We take requests all the time, and there's even been instances where somebody says, "You just got to play the Monkees, I'm a Believer," because we've never played it before. But we have two really talented guitarists, so we just follow them, and he goes, "Let's do it." And so they knew enough of the lyrics that they started the song up, and it sounded pretty good for never having rehearsed it or played it or anything.
That's great.
So when you get veteran musicians like these guys,
Yep.
they're pretty cool. Eddie, Daniel, Dave, and Joey.
Wow. My time is up. I got to go prepare. And man, Joe Bensoua, thank you so much for sharing your life. You've been awesome.
I'll link and I'll put it up on Facebook and other people can see it.
I will. I'll go.
But
I'll tag you on this. I'll put your Facebook, the name of your group, and give me any edits that need to be changed. Please don't hesitate to tell me until it's perfect.
fine. Yeah. Thank you very much for your time. All right.
Thank you, Joe.
With the other people you're going to talk to.
Go listen to the Rockers. And that was Joe Bensoua. Thank you, Joe. Love you lots.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.